G'day everyone, Matt Elder here. Good morning, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. Can you guys hear me okay? Just always want to start off, just never too sure. Hopefully you can hear and coming through okay. Let's just see now, I'll get this other. Good there, just checking that. Always a bit of a few bits and pieces I need to get in line first up. Let's double check. Hopefully if anyone's there, got a few people in the chat there. Just let me know if you can hear me or if something is going askew here. You never know if you're just talking to yourself. Okay. Let's see. Let me just put it through this way, double check. Yep, that seems to be working. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Let's make sure. Okay, so good morning and welcome along to East Meets West. We just get along together, have a bit of a chat with people out there. And if you've stumbled across me before and never seen me, welcome to the channel and the stream. I'm on all social media, but the best way to find me is on mattelder.com, and you can subscribe there and get alerted of new content. You can also check out a lot of my art and other bits and pieces that I put up there. This show is sponsored by McCaslin.com Holiday Homes, just 75 minutes east of London, UK. Great for a holiday, staycation, or a weekend getaway from the city. High-spec apartments with lots of great restaurants, bars in the area, and the Lego wall. Visit McCaslin.com for more details. So now we got that bit there. Let's just get that across and change it over. Share that there. Just line that up. Might work on this for a little bit. And just a heads up, my streams are drama-free zones with family-friendly content, so please be respectful in the chat. No bullying, triggering, or profanities. And if you like what you see, don't be afraid to hit the thumbs up button and or subscribe to the channel. So I think that's going to be that part, all the formalities out of the way. And I guess we'll get going with this. Might actually get to build something. Usually this the Tuesday mornings, or sorry, don't even know what day it is. It's been one of those sorts of weeks. How's everybody else out there going? How's your week going? So just getting a bit set up here. Yeah, this week just feels like it's been a long one. Just haven't been getting into the swing of things properly just yet. Hello to Mr. Solo Brick Builder. Good to see you in. And what's my comments not coming up there properly? And yes, we've got the hello there. I will try not to insult anyone today. That's okay. There's the morning and the day is just young. Hopefully you're well. Goodness knows whereabouts in the country you are at the moment. Are you local to London, or are you out traveling somewhere? I'll just go through and flick over the banner. Put that one there. So I think today I might actually get a chance to build a little something, which is a little unusual for me. So let's put on a little bit of music as a little bit of filler in the background. And hopefully it's okay there. So in the meantime, have a look at this the London architecture set. Last week I managed to get up to cutting the tape, so I might actually open the box today. Oh, I managed to get it open now. Some of the bits and pieces here. And then solo. It's been one hell of a week so far. I'm not even sure I'll make it to Greg's stream later. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, certainly. Obviously did your Wednesday night stream, and that literally just felt like you just walked in the door and just been able to make it. So you got all these interesting bits of tubing pipes, and just trying to think. With this architecture set, none of the bags are actually numbered. Not that that's a huge deal. But, just trying to think if the normal architecture ones are numbered. Can't remember. Maybe somebody out there wiser than me will know the answer to that. There might just be a little bag crinkling here for a second, so apologies for the noise. I do need a little container or something to put that lot in. Just trying to see what we've got handy here. Maybe I'll just risk it and leave the parts out a bit. Master Builder, all architecture sets never have. I'm going to guess that's meant to be numbered bags as far as my world. Okay. Yeah, I think this is only the second one of these I've ever built. Well, from a proper. From a proper set, at least. I mean, I've gone through and re-bricked quite a number of different ones, just how the pieces that we've had here. Admittedly, they usually end up white or something weird like that. So, and one more bag, and then that will be the end of the noise. Nope, wasn't quite right. That one bag had another bag in it. Yeah, it's been a bit of a strange week in the UK as well. We've, on the one hand, we've been told Prime Minister came out early in the week, basically going, yeah, stay at home, only go to work if you have to, basically closing everything down. And then the Chancellor Treasury coming out the next day and basically going, well, the support package isn't really going to allow you to stay at home. So that's going to get very interesting. But so that's where we're at with these sorts of lockdown things. What about other people in their parts of the world? And just looking at the architecture one. This is the London one, so just going through. I always like it when the instruction books, manuals give you a bit of background information. So London, originally founded by the Romans over 2,000 years ago, London has grown to become the cultural and economic capital of Britain and one of the world's truly global cities. Famous for its finance, fashion, and art industries, London is the world's most visited city. Oh, I didn't know that. And also one of the most culturally diverse, more than 300 languages spoken by over 8.5 million people. I thought London had 10 million people. Maybe it's a couple of years ago now. Standing on the River Thames, London's skyline reflects both the city's diverse and colourful past and its continued ambition to embrace bold, modern architectural statements. And then one of the quotes, when a man is tired of London, he is tired of life. For there is in London all that life can afford. Samuel Johnson. Morning, Brixo. No, sorry, morning, Brix. Studio, great to have you along. Hope you're having a good start to the day in your part of the world. Just trying to think, Brix. You're probably going to put my foot in my mouth. You're in the States, aren't you? Just trying to think. Yeah, I think so. Because your new little avatar was a painting by Ingrid Wynn, which is pretty cool. So, and then it's going through and it's giving a bit of a blurb on the National Gallery, Houses of Parliament, Big Ben, Nelson's column on the other page. You can't quite see it, but there. That's the main statue in Trafalgar Square. And Brick Studio, yeah, I'm doing good. I'm in the US. Okay, cool. Because it must be about 6:15 in the morning. Brick's thinking of selling a t-shirt for a limited time with that sig fig on it. Oh, that'd be cool. It's something, yeah, I'd be curious to see how you get on with that. I've looked at, not very seriously, putting some of my art on t-shirts or merchandise. One of the kids in particular is always talking about Family Bricks merch and getting onto that. And the first thing he's doing is saying how we're going to have a sale on it. So I might need to explain to you how economics works. And the London Eye, which we been to a couple of times recently. Got a video on the channel basically going through and going the whole ride on it and getting a bit of a view and pointing it all out. At the moment, this is actually great. We've been about twice in the last month because normally each of these little capsules, they have like 25, 30 people. When we went in summer, they were limiting it to 2 family groups. So we got in and there was like 6 people. And then funnily enough, when we went last week, was it last weekend? They're then limiting it to 4 households, which worked out to be about 8 people. No, sorry, not 8 people. 4 lots of 4, 16. So it's still pretty good. Tower Bridge, be one of the other ones. Building. All right, let's get started with this. Bricks, I tried it out last night on Teesprings and it looks cool. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I've heard Teesprings as one of the ones to be able to put your t-shirts and things onto. Is Teesprings, is that a print on demand, or is it one where you've got to like do a minimum order, or make up 20 shirts and then sell them from there? What have we got here? So I think about 10 years ago, I used Cafe Press and had a couple of artworks on there. I think I managed to sell one on a cup or something. Admittedly, I didn't really promote it that much, but it was the sort of thing by the time commission and everything, you only get paid out when you get over, I think it's like $25 worth of sales, and having only made one sale, never got there. So I would imagine, so theoretically, they still have my money. Bricks, no, it's print on demand. You can just order one shirt or one pillow or one mug, not 20. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, I probably should get around to doing that and printing some stuff off. I mean, that's when I was doing a lot more print-based artwork and things. It was always great when you do up an artwork or something like that, and then there was always something pretty special about seeing it on the cover of a magazine or whatever it was. What's that? I guess it's one of those things too. Once you have your own merchandise, then it becomes another talking point. And as much as what you think you tell everybody about what you do, it always seems like, unless it's blatantly obvious, your minifig or something with your name on it, then people can still not quite realize what it is that you're doing. Let's see. Put that. Yeah, so it's interesting last week, sort of on the stream and talking about the Batwing, and then it officially got announced on the Saturday, which always seemed to be a little bit random. It's usually Lego do most of their announcements Monday to Friday, but then it turned out it was like the Saturday was Batman Day, so they sort of did that there. Obviously, we'd seen some of the leaked images beforehand, so yeah, it looks like a pretty awesome set. Hoping, like last year, they did with the 89 Batmobile, they did a gift with purchase, which is a really cool build. And I'm hoping they do it again this year, but not 100% sure on that because the Batwing's actually a bit cheaper. So the Batmobile is like £219. The Batwing's, I think, 179. So it might not be enough there to do another one of those gift with purchase. How's that going to go just in there? So what do others in the chat think? Is it going to be something you're going to look at getting? Not something that interests you? Looks cool, wish you had the money for? So for those that just joined in the last few minutes, welcome along. Just going through and building out one of the Lego London architecture sets, which I think I got for my birthday last year and only now just getting around to building it. If there's anyone out there who wants to jump on for a bit of a chat, just let me know and can drop you a link or something. Okay, British, great to have you along. Hope you're well this morning. And Bricks, what do we got here? Yeah, I can have a banner at the top of my channel page, and I can officially live stream on YouTube via the YouTube app. This is sweet. I've been waiting for this for 5 weeks. Yeah, I keep remember that you've mentioned that a few times. So when's your have you started streaming? So I don't remember seeing yours come through. I could be wrong. Well, when are you looking to get going with your streaming? That'll be cool. This is actually going to be quite long. You think that maybe I put the layout on some of these bits and pieces in the wrong place. Can you see that okay? Yeah, at least for now, before it gets too much height. Is that one going in there? So it's almost the end of the week, weekend coming. Anybody got anything lined up to do? It's always a bit challenging these days within COVID, whatever the restrictions are, wherever. I think for us, it's felt like it's been pretty busy for the last little bit. So I think possibly a quiet weekend this one, and then because next week's probably going to be busy in the weekend as well. Yeah, interesting little sub-assembly. I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but certainly early this week, between Amazon and Argos, they're having some crazy sales. It's almost like as soon as they're told that they going to get locked down again, or potential of it, a couple of big retailers went, well, we'll make sure that you guys have got some toys and Lego and things to play with, so we'll put it on sale, and maybe you'll spend some other stuff. So it's been, the deals that have come through have been really, really good. It's been really difficult to resist. Bricks. I have to have surgery this morning for my underarm. Oh, well, hopefully that's nothing too serious. I hope that all goes well. Is that sort of like just a day procedure? You just go into your surgery or clinic or hospital and coming out at the end of the day? So yeah, hope that that goes well. No, it's only one. One there. Four there. At least then, if you're having that today, Brixish, then gives you the weekend to have a bit of rest, hopefully. Recover or heal or whatever whatever needs to happen. Yeah, there it is. Thought I'd been missing a piece there. It's interesting. I was reading. Can't remember where I saw it. Was it? It was an interview with one of the QA people for Lego, basically talking about the problems that people have with their sets in terms of just general customer feedback and complaints and issues that they have. And just the read of it seemed to be very much that a lot of the problems the customers have seem to be more because of the customers' own faults or issues. They did make the comment that, surprisingly enough, a lot of the minifigures within Star Wars sets and what was the other theme? Was it Ninjago? They always seem to have a disproportionate number of those characters or minifigs missing out of those sets when compared with, say, your normal Lego City and just any other set which has minifigures. So reading between the lines, it seemed to be implying that people were taking advantage of that. So, and it was difficult for Lego to, they don't want to. There's going to be some genuine ones where it's missing, but by and large, it seems to be that a lot of them are not. Brick Studios, it's just for the day at the surgical center and should be home around 1 p.m. I hope then I can watch London Bridge Brick stream. No, that's cool. I'll be on his stream tonight. That's it's probably after my draw stream tomorrow night. It's probably one of my favorite ones for the week because Greg always gets a great group of other panelists in, and then also what am I thinking? The other people, and just generally, if once you set up streams and things like that, there's always a bit of effort and things to go through and promote them and that. And it's nice to be able to just turn up to somebody else's and not have to worry about all that and just be able to relax and think it's usually the only chance which I get to really just have a bit of a build. This is a bit of an odd one. And Brixish, Brick Studio, hope it goes well. Brick Studio, thanks Brixish. I'll be fine. That's why I'm not going to stream for a few weeks. Oh yeah, I remember seeing when you're going to take a break. Yeah. I think because I think Brix, you may have put a post up on Instagram. I think just saying that you're taking a break, or it might be confusing it with somebody else. I generally follow a lot of different Lego YouTubers, Instagram, and everything else. So I see a lot of the stuff come up, and then sometimes it blurs together as to whose it actually was. Bricks, yep, so that's why Bricks-ish. Cool. And Brick Studio, 2:30 p.m. usually here. I'm guessing, yeah, if that's you're talking about Greg's stream tonight, yeah, because it starts 7:30 UK time, and US generally 5 hours behind on the coast, and then Central Mountain Time and West Coast. And I'll be able to watch the Brick Hive London Bridge Brick stream tomorrow too. Yeah, because I think they're doing the Mos Eisley Cantina, which invariably will take a number of hours to get done. I think that's because that was released, what was it, a week or so ago, so the fact that they've been able to just have it sit there and not get to it, so then they can stream it. Where are we at with this? Yeah, and then just back to the Lego QA people. Then they're saying after the minifigs, then the next biggest issue they had was people sort of thinking that they'd lost or didn't have enough parts. And so like, well, it's probably in the carpet, or, it's actually there. Or occasionally it's when the build instructions aren't 100% clear. So people may, and they find on certain parts for certain sets happen to have quite high percentages of saying that they're not there. And then when they look at the build instructions, they can see it's not 100% clear in certain places. So maybe people, putting bricks onto the model additionally to what they should be or what they're meant to. And then by the time they get to that other step, which requires the part, they put it somewhere else. Allegedly. I sometimes find some of that a little bit hard to take, because with some sets, if you put pieces in the wrong place, it's usually 3 or 4 steps later when you're trying to put other pieces and you start realizing, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't actually go in there. And then you discover a mistake. And then they're saying, obviously, with the smaller tiles and things, when they give the extra ones, it's because when you've got the little tiny small pieces like that, machines are not accurate enough to be able to weigh them out as one, so you get extra, which is interesting because a couple of weeks ago I did the Iron Man mosaic, and that one seemed to be missing a number of pieces, because you go through and you double check it and things like that, and we had all the pieces put out into bowls, so it's not like they ran away anywhere. And then, I saw that Brixar, in one of his videos, he had a very similar problem. And it's not like he's missing 1 or 2, it's like missing 5 or something. And it's the same, I think, where he came up 3 or 4 short. And it was of a more rare color. So we couldn't go into our own collection and get it out. British, I don't think I've ever had a missing piece. I've had a broken piece before, and Lego great in replacing. Yeah, we've had a few pieces missing over the years in different sets, and it is quite good because you can just go on their website, say, "Here's I'm missing this piece," and then get it from there. They usually send it out. It usually takes a couple of weeks. I'm pretty good with that. Certainly when the worst one that I've had, because usually, it's just a small little one or something like that. But when I was building the '89 Batmobile, one of the big 4x2 slopes out of that set was missing. There was that, and then one or two other pieces. Because that one I had up on a build table in bowls, and just went back and double checked, triple checked. Yeah, it was definitely not there. I just never gotten around to actually going onto the website and ordering a replacement, because it did happen to have a number of those in our own Lego collection. So, and I think it was like a pretty early sort of step. So, and then because that one had was it 18 or 24, 22 bags? It had a lot of bags, and was only opening them one at a time. So it became pretty apparent when it wasn't there. But then that always seems to be the sort of thing too. It's like you've only got like one piece missing from that set and another one missing from that set. And then when you get around to actually going onto the website and ordering it, or they're trying to get the replacements, it almost, you almost feel a bit bad or guilty about it, because then it's almost like they're thinking, there's so many parts that are missing here. Somebody's just, taking the proverbial, or, just trying to get some free parts that they're not entitled to. It's just one of those things, like just to sit down, navigate through the website, tell them which piece is missing, and find it. Bricks, I have to admit, there's been a few times I've thought I've been missing a piece, then it's been right in front of my eyes. LOL. Yeah, there's been a few times. Yeah, you think you're missing it or something, or particularly if it's a what do we got? Like if it's a little tiny tile piece like that, and then it turns out just because of the way you put your Lego down, like it's gotten wedged up in there, and then it's not until you go to try to put one of these on with the wedge piece, you go, oh, it doesn't go. Oh, that's where that piece was that was tearing my hair out before. Does make you wonder sometimes, though, how we used to function in a pre-internet world. You just go on the website, go, here's the piece I'm missing, click, 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 done. I just remember we had one of those, it's like one of those Rubik's Unlink the Rings or Link the Rings. It came out after the Rubik's Cube, so at the time it was like a huge fad and everything like that. And the thing was held together with a type of fishing wire. And just the nature of it, once you used it a bit, the fishing wire would eventually pop, and it would basically all just fall to bits. And it's quite a common thing. So, yeah, if you wanted to get it fixed, we actually went to take it back to the toy store. And they're like, no, you've got to send it off to this other place and snail mail and send a check to get it repaired. I thought that was a bit off, but anyhow, I did that. And I think we sent it off, and it took like 3 months for it to come back. And it was the repaired version. It wasn't a new replacement or anything, because it had like all the wear from previously on it. But things that happen. No. The white piece looks dirty. It's like it's an off-white. It doesn't look like a... Another one. The white doesn't seem white enough. Yeah, it's definitely miscolored. Is that showing up? No, not really. It's more of a creamy white than an actual white. I wonder how that happened. Funny that we happen to be talking about QA and stuff, and then one of the pieces come out wrong. Yeah, it's definitely definitely an issue with that. Looking at that one there. Brick says, you know how Lego are going to go with paper bag. Do you think they'll go completely digital with instructions? I really hope they don't. Yeah, that's digital instructions. What did they do recently? Obviously, with the Super Mario stuff, which has come out, they've pretty much gone all digital with that stuff. Which I think their spin on it was, when they tried the normal instructions, people didn't quite understand it. Particularly, I could see when we went through having the video to show, like, if he's lying down or he's spinning around or things like that. There was one or two things when we saw it in the video, you went, oh, okay, yeah, no, I kind of get that. And that actually would have been kind of difficult to do as sort of like paper-based instructions where it's step by step. This is, one of those things where if you're trying to describe it or just use a single static shot, it's quite difficult to explain. But if you've got a video of something, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah, there's the old Factory Skyline series, which came out, was it 2010, I think? Maybe a bit earlier, and there was one building in that, and it was like a fan design one, which they then, this was kind of, I think, pre-Lego Ideas. So they got the fan one, and you'd get the set, but the instructions were only digital, so you'd have to go online to actually build the thing. Okay, yeah, fine, no problem. The thing is now, those instructions are not actually on lego.com. It's not on Lego at all. It's only through the fact that somebody had done their own scan version that it's available. So that becomes my concern with digital instructions, in terms of if Lego don't support the instructions in the long term, because it's going to take up server space, bandwidth, and all those sorts of things, then what happens? and there's been a number of, I think digital instructions, particularly for bigger sets, is a real pain. When you've got like, instruction books which are a couple hundreds of pages, because usually we generally seem to do it off an iPad or something like that. So after a while, naturally the iPad battery gets a bit dead, or dies or something. And then just with the iPad too, sometimes like when you have your lock screen and stuff, so sometimes because you don't touch the iPad in a while, it decides to lock itself, or you're trying to figure something out or sort through something, it locks itself, and then you got the process of going through and unlocking it. So it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it just changes, I guess, the experience of it. But then that said too, then afterwards it's like, well, what do you do with the instructions later on? And we've only just started to go through and put them into storage boxes and things, which, there's quite a number of storage boxes now, just all with instructions. So then you've got obviously the environment take on that in terms of, while we might hang on to them, how many people end up throwing them out and not recycling them, or, I don't know, I'm just not sold on the way Lego handle some of these things. I mean, if you've currently a VIP, when they recently changed over to the allegedly new system, it just put so much more friction in with dealing with it, and just had no end of grief and problems with it. And a lot of their digital offerings, I've generally found there's always issues with. We got a Mindstorm set recently, which generally doesn't have instructions with it. And it was like, go to lego.com/mindstorms to, get the instructions or the starter point, And you go to that. I just wonder if I can even pull it up. And it came up with a 404 error message. And it's sort of like, it's pretty easy to do a redirect on it. And for a product which, it's not like some obscure product where you can get around it. And then the lego.com website, I generally find is very clunky to begin with. Like, you go there and you always, first thing which comes up, it's like, do you want to go to the sale site or this side of the website? So look, I can see the pros and cons for and against having the physical instructions. I guess it's still always just what you're used to. And then Bricks is, I like physical instructions because it gets you away from tablets and laptops. Yeah, then there's that aspect of it. It's, as a physical building toy, trying to get the kids away from screens of some description. And then it's like, okay, well, now to use it, use a physical toy to get kids away from screens, but to actually use it, you need to get a screen to access the instructions. Yeah, it becomes a but Lego have been trying to do more and more digital stuff, whether it's the hidden side stuff, the Super Mario, and I can kind of get it. Like our kids in the last little bit have really gotten into a lot of their iPads and digital sort of stuff. But then it's funny because then when they don't have access to the iPads and that, they then quite happily just go off and play with the Lego. So, this is really interesting. These clear tiles. Probably not going to be able to see it. Maybe you can do it on the black. Okay. Yeah, you should be able to see it there. You can actually see the printing on all these little tiles. See all the what is that? That's the Lego copyright, the number, and the. Let's see if we can do that again. So the copyright, the Lego, and it almost like a batch number or something in there. That's really visible. I mean, that is really distracting. That must be something new. I haven't seen that before. Because even on a pretty cruddy webcam, you can see it. That's That's really don't like that at all. That's terrible. It's gonna be I mean, it shows up obviously really, really well against the black because you got the high contrast. But even when I was been handling them, I was looking at that going, I don't recall seeing that on the older style. Anyhow. It's kind of funny because it certainly doesn't show them up in the instructions as having that. Really, yeah. Don't like that because then I don't know, maybe also a little bit OCD. Can I just see that there? Back that way. Just trying to get a good light angle. Trying not to get there. This one in particular I want to try to. Hello, Brett's Builds. Hope you're well. I'm just discovering that these little transparent tiles now seem to have these printing marks on it, which are really visible. I get that. So yeah. So then just being OCD, it's like in this one, because the tile is facing this way, the printing is at the bottom, but then the tile next to it, because I put it on that way, it's up the top. So now I'm going to have to go through and make sure they're all in a certain alignment. That is really bad. I'll just make it all the way up to the top. I'm almost tempted just to go and try to grab some. Yeah, I might have a quick look in collection just to see. Pretty sure they didn't have that. One sec, guys. So just got our collection of 1x2s. Yeah, it looks like these are ones I've just pulled out of our collection. It's a mixed bag. So this bottom one, it's got the 3 bits of text going across it, much like these ones here. But then these other ones, it's got the bits of text in between the 2 studs. So you got a bit of text here, a bit of text there, and then down there. Now, because of the way that is, it's not as obvious as when it's written all the way straight across. And yeah, that's never really noticed that before. But yeah, certainly it seems like having that that text go all the way across the clear tile makes it much more prominent. It's obviously being changed because these other ones are from our collection, which would be, mostly of bits in the last couple of years. Let's see if I'm trying to see it a bit clearly there. Then that's interesting. So how are you this morning, Brett? What are you what you up to today? What you got planned? And Brick says, many a time I've done the QR code and it took me to an error. Yeah, I'm trying to think. There's something recently. That's right. When I was building the 4x4 Technic buggy, there was a QR code on the front of that instructions. Because what did you need to? You needed that for some reason. That's right. To go to the new powered up app or whatever. And that QR code on the instruction book is the first time I've had a QR code, I've used the QR code reader in my phone a lot of times. And that is the first time ever that the QR code reader in my phone hasn't worked. And it was on that. And also to the instruction book itself then didn't have where you could get that powered app for, or what you should be searching for to try to find it. So yeah, sort of as I was sort of saying a bit before in terms of the instructions all being digital and things like that, I just don't find Lego do their digital offering well. It just always seems that there's basic problems like that, where QR codes don't work, or just really simple things. Hello, Juan. Good to see you in. Hope you're going well. You are about 7 hours ahead of us, I think, so it must be coming up to about 7 p.m. at night where you are. So probably means you've got a good night ahead of you. Brett's builds just bought 2 sets: the Wonder Woman A4 and a city set. Okay, what city set? So Yeah, that Wonder Woman 84 set. Is that the... Which one is that? Because Brett's Bills Hide 1. And Brixish, my recent was the Lego Art set for the podcast thingy. Okay, cool. Was that been this week, or was that some between Argos and Amazon? All those art sets, mosaics, apart from the Iron Man stuff, seem to have come down. I think they're selling it for like £92 or something. So, but maybe that's something you don't want to hear anyhow. Always, yeah. You go off, you buy something, it's like, whoa, yeah, I got it. And then the next day it's like on sale. You're like, oh. So that's that to there, that's to there. To that. To that. And 4 here. Yeah. Has this come up short with some of these clear tiles? Let me just put these couple in first. So I'm not seeing these clear tiles here. They're there. That's based on there. On there. And I trying to find this last clear tile. Which it doesn't seem to be here. Unless it's buried under one of these other ones, but I don't think so. So there's a good chance this set is missing a tile. Probably karma. We're talking about missing pieces. So you have lots of the tile plates. Anyhow, I'll just use one out of our collection, but that's okay. And then Winter Bricker, great to have you along. Hope that you're having a good morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Pretty sure you're in the US, I think. So it would be potentially about 7 a.m. in the morning if you're on the East Coast. Just having a check of this city set that... Oh, I just missed a whole bunch of stuff. Just having a look at Brett's 6257. Okay, cool. Yeah, the service station one. Cool. QR code. Tuning workshop. Hello. 4 a.m. here. Want to say hello. Okay. Yep. Cool. So you must be on the West Coast in the States. Good to have you along at 4 in the morning. Hopefully, I don't know whether it's meant to put you asleep or wake you up. Nevada, yeah. If it's that sort of thing, it'd be somewhere close to the West Coast. So how come you're up at 4 a.m.? You're not doing an early day shift or couldn't sleep, insomniac? Looks like that one goes towards the end. So I guess something which we were chatting a bit about earlier was obviously the bags are going from the plastic to the more paper style. What do people think on the instructions? If they were to go digital, would that be something you'd like or wouldn't like? One of those, need another one. What is one that goes on there? And is that right? Yeah, no. Yeah. One that goes down to there. What else? And we had the was it during the week they had the Elf Clubhouse announced as this year's winter sort of set. Brett, I think the last was it solo stream? Or maybe it was last week somewhere else. You were talking about I think it was you, or was it your missus who really gets into Christmas and decorates everything out and stuff like that? Does that extend across to these sorts of Lego decorations? So obviously now they seem to be doing it as a theme. So I think this is the 4th one in the line. You could still get the other two. Don't know. I've been tempted with it, but you should see over time. A little bit like the modulars as they get further down the road with them, and they've had a number of them. It could be quite an interesting little display. Annual Christmas tradition or something. Then they're not cheap though. I think they're about £85, but I think generally they're coming with about 1,100 pieces. So yeah, reasonable. But I don't think like other sorts of Christmas decorations, like post Christmas, when the stores are trying to get rid of them, you can usually get them for a good price for next year. Brett's builds. Yeah, it was me. Mrs. Brett is Christmas shopping already. LOL. Yeah, what was the because usually, I mean, you really notice that like October they usually put the stuff up for Halloween, and then once Halloween goes down, it's like full force up. That section in the shop gets replaced with The Christmas stuff. Where was... Man, was it the... I remember just seeing somewhere else like Christmas really early. I mean, what, we're in September? And Christmas is, I suppose now, what is it, 3 months away. So... Oh, that's right. I think we were starting to think about trying to book for the kids, like Santa's Grotto and things like that. But obviously, with the way things are this year, probably not going to happen. I think there was the school came through and told us that they're definitely cancelling the usual grotto that they have at the school, which makes sense. When we've done some of those character meet and greets at Legoland, I think during summer they were just doing it like the characters were behind a velvet rope, so you can go up and have a picture taken in front of them. But the chances this year, unless something dramatically changes, of little kitties sitting on Santa's knee, because let's face it, a lot of Santas are usually of the older generation anyhow. It's like a perfect storm. So yeah, Brett, do you think Mrs. Brett could be convinced of the Lego Christmas sets? Or is that wishful thinking, maybe? Or do they just not appeal that much, and sort of like, well, for £85 that could be better utilised on other things? How did I just put that other bit there? So here, this is pretty cool. Yeah, going to be Tower Bridge of the middle section opening. Actually, a fair bit of it's quite a snug fit in there. Like, if you push down hard enough, it'll definitely open, but enough that it's not flimsy and floppy. Brett's Builds Family Bricks. I want the Xmas sets, but Mrs. Brett has gone right off her Lego, so I've inherited all the Harry Potter too. Okay, so it's not a chance to have a relapse, is it? It's like, ooh, he's a Christmas set. 2021, I'm going to have to sort out and possibly sell some. Yeah, okay. Just getting too much, taking up too much space, or just looking at it and going, well, I don't really into this set, but if I sold this one off, then I could put it towards getting some other ones. Yeah, I don't know about the Christmas sets. Sort of only just really recently been coming out of a dark age, so still discovering stuff. What do other people out there in the chat think about the Christmas sets? Yeah, the Elf Winter Village. Because I was having a look on, was it lego.com? Or the UK version, and it seems that you can, like last year and the year before, sets are still available, but they're going to be hard to come across. And the previous year, the very first one, is now going for crazy money. I think it's I think they're somewhat like £200 or more. So I would imagine if people get into it this year, then that one will keep going up, much like the first modular, come out at the time. People weren't 100% sure what it was, like in terms of, not knowing that it was going to be the start of a line. British, I like the Christmas sets. Cool. You think you'll pick up this year's Elf one? Brett's Bills, the Harry Potter money the wife can spend of herself for change. LOL, but anything I sell is going back into my setup. Yeah, just turning it over to be able to get things that you really want within the other. Interesting little build technique. Where you've got one of these. What do they call them? It's like a 1x1 corner tile angle thingy. So you got that, and then they've laid a headlight brick down sideways, and then just happens to slot in there like that. That's there. I need a couple more of these elusive tiles. Or did I just do that and not think about it? Yeah, quite possibly. That's the thing, you're just trying to build, look at the chat, think of something semi-interesting to say. I lose the spot of where I'm up to. Now I've done it once, do it again. There we Brett's Bills. I may part with my assembly square, cinema, and diner to make room and money for the train upgrades. Just an idea at the moment, though. Assembly square. When you say, is that assembly square and then cinema as a different one? So I think if you're talking about the cinema one, that can be worth a bit, depending upon how complete it is. Okay, Brixish. Hope you have a good day. Hope that the surgery goes well. And we might see you. Was it? Sorry, I just can't remember. It was you who was talking about the. No, it was Bricks. Sorry. It was Bricks who had the surgery. Yeah, I didn't think it was. So anyhow, I hope you have a good day. Anyhow, and I'll see you around later on. Thanks for stopping by. Always great to have you around. And Brett's Bills, yeah, all three modulars. Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, the rumor is the diner is going to retire at the end of the year. So if you hold on to that just a little bit post retirement, you probably get a better price for it. As people realize, hey, I want the diner, and it's not there on the shelf anymore. Yeah, I'm not having surgery. Yeah, no, it's you and Brick Studios were around at the same time. I'm sorry. Yep. So yeah, cool. There's the other. So I need to get the second one up there and built. Yep, that's it there. Certainly starting to feel like now getting the tower bridge well advanced. Seems to be taking a lot of the pieces for the set. And start seeing things a little bit clearer. Of the going there on the jumpers. Brace builds. My current view on the modulars is that I can mock my own for free and bought the ones I could fund my train idea. Yeah. I think for people who just want to build their own, for people who just want to, have a building and things like that and not have, just enjoy it and not think about it, then modulars are a great way to go. But for other people who, can mock their own stuff and like putting things together, and certainly see how they might like to just do them themselves. Family Bricks, do you own any modulars? I got the Parisian restaurant off eBay for a really good price. Need to get around to actually building it. So, almost a bit scared though, because it's sort of like if I start building that, I then might want to have space for set up a city or something, which we just don't have any space for. The kids were kind of interested in that idea for a little bit, but I think they may have moved on for it. So do have one of the monorail, the city shuttle one. So looking at that and going, could put this in a city if we had one. So one of the people in the London AFOLs, they had it, and then they were looking to sell it. It was a really good price. I mean, it wasn't complete. It was missing a few bits. Which one of the pieces I did eventually manage to hunt down, but that took a while. Because it was one of the curved pieces. And it was like on Bricklink at the time, there was like 2 of them for sale in the world. One was in the US for like £70, and then the other one was in Asia somewhere for another ridiculous price. And then it popped up on eBay, and I think somebody must have had the had a significant number of the pieces to the set, because then they're auctioning off the individual pieces for like £5 each. and they did that for the curve piece because I don't think they realized what they had. So no, it was a buy it now. So I was sort of like, okay, that curve piece normally goes for just the single piece goes for like £70 or something because it's so rare. And as soon as I saw it there, it's like, okay, yep, buy £5. So didn't have to think twice about that one. So I think the only thing I'm sort of missing out of that is the original stickers as such. But I've also seen too, you've got somebody who's selling like reproductions of the stickers. Which I'm not too fussed on the stickers anyhow, so. And Brett's builds cities do take up a lot of room, but yeah, the kids also have a few trains as well, so there's a good amount of track for that. But I think, as we've spoken extensively with Kaz and things, the amount of space that you need for just to do a circle is 3 base plates wide. Like, it's quite big, which is why the monorail is a little bit more appealing, because then obviously you can have it elevated through the streets, whereas obviously when you have the train track, it's generally going to take up space unless you do some sort of underground or something like that, which is another thing I was thinking of doing. But again, the space. These do take a look around. Monorail should be up. Elder, it should. Yeah, that's why I just it teases me. I've got it a clear, really useful box just right near the bed. So every time I walk past it and just sort of see it there, it's like, yeah, I really should do something with that. Because people rave about the monorails. I think partially because there's only 3 of them. They're really difficult to get, so it's that sort of thing. Because they're so rare, just the rarity by itself makes people rave about it. But having said that, though, the track itself is super rock solid. So you probably know with kids, like you get over the years, we've gotten like you get those like little Thomas the Tank Engine type ones, not the wooden tracks, but just other sorts of raised tracks and things like that. And it's always very rickety, and you're forever just setting up the track and fixing it and what have you on just other non-Lego train track type things. Whereas the Lego monorail ones, you set it up once, and generally, unless you're kicking it or tripping over it, because we had it on the floor, it stays the way that you set it up, which is great because you're not spending half your life fixing up the track or something like that. So it's obviously, being Lego, they designed it pretty robust. Let's see. I think you should build it and I'll co-host it live. That's a thought. It's just the footprint of it. Like, obviously, you could build the individual monorail type things on a stream like this. Then otherwise, you have to put it up high. But that's an interesting idea, Brett. Although, if we were to do that, would you be fogging up your camera and drooling too much? Sorry. It's quite an interesting technique how they've done this. You got the jumpers offset, so then you can have the brackets go on there and be centered in there. So you go from the 3 wide to the 2 wide. So that enables them to put in these other downward facing brackets. I think London is quite spoilt too, because the amount of sets that they have based on the city. You've obviously got the architecture line, but then you've got Tower Bridge itself as a big creator expert, and then also Big Ben, that side wing of the Parliament, as another creator expert. I can't think of too many other cities that have 3 sets based out of. I think the only other one would be New York, because you have the Statue of Liberty, which you've had multiple ones, and then you've got Empire State Building in the architecture line. Just trying to think if there's any other. Did they do just trying to remember, did they do a Guggenheim in the architecture as well? Surely. I mean, New York would probably be the only other. Because Paris, you've only had the Eiffel Tower. Oh no, having said that, you've got also to the Arc de Triomphe. I'm just trying to think of any other cities. Yeah. Solo, well, it is the greatest city in the world. Yeah, well, I'm not going to argue with you there. If only we got a little bit more blue sky. Let's build that series, would get some views, buddy. Yeah. Funnily enough, the monorail, there's actually not a great deal to it. Like, you've got you could probably do it in 1 2-hour stream. I mean, you got the 3 coaches or the 3 carriages, the sort of main elevated platform, and then there's another low platform, which it's just a couple of pieces. It's not huge. Yeah, no, it's certainly we should have a bit more of a think about that one. See how we can do that. Let's probably even do it on one of these Friday ones or something. I mean, I've always thought of doing a video on the monorail one. As with everything else, it's just getting the time to do it. Because I've been doing, typical. I've been doing a lot more, obviously, recently on like theme parks and attractions and things like that. Because we got the Merlin passes, so we're making sure we're milking that for every last little drop. But it was that sort of thing I basically had set up to release most of the videos this week. So I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday did a video on, had them all ready to go, and then they announced the 6 people only type thing. So I don't know how that's going to slow all that stuff down. Yeah, and then Solo, there are so many iconic places in London. Yeah, definitely. I think, this summer with us all being, basically not able to go anywhere, just really taking advantage of seeing all the stuff in London. But I think, as per the castle videos that I've done, like, most of the castles are just, there's nobody there. it's just been quite amazing. You got these amazing buildings and things, and a lot of the castles these days, they've got a heavy bent on focusing for kids. So most of them have got pretty elaborate sorts of playgrounds and things, to keep the kids occupied. And I don't know whether they're just best good kept secrets, or don't know. Anyhow, we certainly made the most of it with our kids. You go off to one of these castles and kids aren't interested in the castles. Just where's the playground? Why can we go to the playground? Brett's builds. I just think a vid of if you build it would be an epic vid of it or stream. As I say, I could co-host option as it's not Star Wars. yeah, no, definitely. It's now you've mentioned it. Because I certainly want to do a bit of a monorail sort of buying guide or something. Just because if you don't, like, if you get one which is complete, it's a ridiculous price. And then depending upon how incomplete it is, determines the price. But in terms of, again, those curved pizzas, which as I said, like, you basically can't get on Bricklink, and if you do, they're like £70 a hit. Just sort of for people to be aware of that. Yeah, but no, certainly then doing it as a build stream as well. That's correct. Yeah, it does almost seem like it's a shame to have it in a box. This tower bridge is a really cool, funky little build. I really enjoyed this. I'm only hesitating because I really, these tiles here with that that written stuff on it just really is bugging me. Just wondering if I should place it. I think I've got I might have enough of the deep blue ones to replace the clear. Just such a shame because that does look really bad. Anyhow, maybe, yeah. Put it together and, because can you see it there? Yeah, because even if I just hold it like that, even though it's far away from camera and that, just there, you can see the writing on that clear tile. I think it's almost like a Jang where he hates seeing like the blue Technic bits and pieces in a Technic model or some things like that. And I think this is going to be my my little Jang blue Technic colors or something like that. Like just this print here, it's just like it almost makes me wonder why wouldn't you have used the light blue transparent ones? Brett's builds, after it's done, Mrs. Brett will hate you for all eternity, as I will want one. Or it could be the other thing: you've lived it and built it vicariously, and then you've got it out of your system, and hear about it until I get one. LMAO. So put the these pins in for Tower Bridge. So yeah, no. Let's try to get it in there. It's a pretty cool build for Tower Bridge. Maybe flick it around the other way, take it away from the camera a bit, and then even the deck opens up. That's pretty cool. Just the water, the clear tiles. And to boot, one of them was missing out of the set, and I still haven't come across it yet. So, and here we have a quick the man who, if he doesn't know about it, it's probably not worth knowing. BFAB, bringing in.
Hello, how's it going?
Yeah, good. How's things with you?
Just waking up. So yeah, I'm like, oh, I start work later today. Perfect time. Oh, Matt's live. Perfect.
No, thanks for jumping on. It's sort of like I think last week you're sick and got to stay home. So it sounds like you're still a little bit nasally.
Yeah, I'm dying. No, not
okay.
hopefully not. We'll see what happens.
Well, then make sure these are your last dying words are well done then.
Yeah, just make sure to put in your title BFAB died. Well, actually, use brother from another brick died, but if you use BFAB, it's not going to show up in the search results. So.
Okay, then what is that, like a band term or something? They've pinged you on that?
BFAB is a dance crew, and so every time that's what people change your name to BFAB because people know you as BFAB. And I'm like, well, I would, but like literally, I don't want to really be mixed in with a dance crew. As much as it sounds really entertaining, it's not.
It's not, yeah. Because I think, yeah, much the same sort of thing. I think originally when I went searching for you on YouTube, I put in BFAB because that's how I knew you. And it's like, I can't find him. Like, what?
Yeah, you might want to interview me saying that views matter and that's all I care about. But that was like 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, because you've been pretty quiet this week on the video front. I think you've only. I'm just trying to think. Was it the last one you did was the Batwing announcement?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like there has been news. I could cover it. I've just had like zero motivation to do anything with YouTube, and I think that's kind of the issue. Also, my coworkers found out about my channel, and then I temporarily deactivated it, and then a lot of people like, yeah, you shouldn't do that, so I brought it back, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna relax and do nothing. Which is bad because my channel was doing pretty decent, was growing recently, and then you don't post for a while, it really screws things up for you.
It comes down because you're almost at like 8.2K or something, I think, which it seemed like only yesterday you were like at 7.5 or something. So
yeah, my mother makes a lot of accounts. I told her to stop.
Yeah, so well, I mean, yeah, it's always good when your mother is supporting you like that.
Oh yeah, but she's obsessive. She's basically like an ex, she won't back off.
So like, wait until your coworkers find out about your mother.
Yeah. So what are you building? You're building the. Let me turn off the brightness on my phone. You're building architecture. Architecture? I can't say it.
Architecture. The Lego Architect set, which the London one. It's sort of like because this is like my build stream, and I think this is probably the first time I've actually ever built something. So, kind of a weird sensation.
Oh no, I get that. You're like, hey, this is supposed to be building, and I'm not building anything.
Yeah. It's sort of like because I mean, much like this, it's been one of those sorts of crazy weeks. So I literally only put up the video and the promo sort of thing like an hour beforehand, and sent it out like the link to yourself and those guys, and you sort of come in, and I never know if anybody's actually ever going to show up, and then nobody showed up today. And it's like, actually, at first it's like, oh no, this is going to be bad, it's going to be difficult, and then it's like, actually no, I quite enjoy the building aspect of this now.
Yeah, I mean, with people not joining, you get to build more. I mean, that's the benefit. Then the downfall is like, then there's not a lot to. It's hard to hold a conversation, especially when you're doing a longer stream. So
Yeah, no, I've sort of noticed that, and it's sort of like somebody mentions the topic, and you kind of like really stringing it out. Well, not stringing it out, but you're trying to milk it for everything you can.
Oh no,
Um,
sure.
but just trying to think, yeah, because the main thing is I've just discovered like these clear one by whatever tiles. They've changed them recently, and now they've got this printing on it. So on this black here, it shows up, and it just looks terrible. So,
Interesting.
which yeah, because if you put it on any other color, you won't really see it. And then they've changed it in such a way that previously, like all the text used to be in between the two studs, so it wasn't as noticeable. So yeah, this might be like, you know how Jang hates having like the blue Technic pins showing. I think this is going to be my version of that because it looks really bad. Like I might not just go through later on and change it with some other clear blue tiles or something. But yeah, anyhow, so yeah, what's new with you?
I wish I had an interesting story to tell how I saved somebody from getting attacked by a bear or, something.
Well, if you make it up, we won't know.
I think other than me, like, okay, so 2 days ago, I think, I don't even remember. The days are starting to mesh together. Walmart clearance in the States, it hasn't been amazing, but like I've been checking the Walmart app every single day. All of a sudden I see 50% off. I'm like, do I wait or do I make sure like all the, the bricklinkers, they come in, like I said, I respect everybody. I'm not causing drama. I think they're needed, but like they come in and they'll swoop all the sets, right? And then they sell them, make profit. I respect the hustle. You get your money. But I'm like, yeah, no, you're not going to beat me this time. So literally the second I check and I see that there's stuff on clearance on the Walmart app, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to this Walmart. So I'm just like, I got paid from YouTube, and I'm like, I'm just going to spend all that money on this rather than go buy Diagon Alley or the Cantina. I was tempted, but I'm like, you see, like, clearance. Like, I think I got almost $650 worth of Lego for $310. So
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, I'm totally going shopping. And then today I get paid, and there's more stuff that I left behind, and I think that I might have to make a little trip and get the rest.
To go back for it. Yeah, because I think I saw, I can't remember. I just follow so many people, Lego on YouTube sort of thing and Instagram. And yeah, I think somebody was in there and they had like, 30 sets of this. Like they're showing the back of the car and the trolley, and it's like 30 sets of this and 25 of that, then this, that, and the other. And it's not like
Life Brick Studios. I think you might be talking about him.
Okay. Yeah, it could be. I sort of look at my feed sometimes. It's like, oh, you're following about 600 Lego people. It's like, okay, well, so it's, yeah.
People like are balling. I mean, they get better deals though sometimes. Like I know, like it depends on the state. Like some people are getting like 75% off Lego. I was talking to a lady at Walmart. I was trying to hit on her. It didn't really work. But I was seeing if she could lower some prices, some Lego sets. She wouldn't do it. Disappointing. But she was saying how like they're just like, yeah, these certain sets aren't selling and we need shelf space, so that's why we're marking all of this down. And she was a beauty. She literally stood there and was like scanning stuff with her phone too. I'm like, yep, that's on clearance. That's not on clearance. I'm like, dang, you're so helpful. And I'm just like, hey, what is this going to be 75% off? And she's like, well, if they don't sell, I'll go lower. I'm like, yeah, no, somebody's going to swoop them by. I got to grab them, go.
Yeah. Because that's the sort of thing, like at the moment, with people getting all their different checks and bits and pieces and things like that, like you'd think that people would be saving it, but it's not. Like the collectibles market for comic books and trading cards and Pokemon and Magic the Gathering and everything like that, like it's just gone insane. Like prices across the board are really going up. It's not like anybody's sort of going, hey, there might be a problem here, I'll save some money. It's like, no, let's go buy stuff.
Yeah, see, I was thinking that same thing. Like, I probably should be saving my money. And then I'm like, oh, but the sales. And then I'm like, you know what? I gave in. I think like right now, at this point in my life, I think my backlog is at 70 plus Lego sets. I never thought I would be able to say that because I used to just build a Lego set every time I got it. Now I'm just like, you know what? I'm buying more than I'm building. So
yeah, it gets to that point after a while. Like that's even just with like over the summer, I did a lot more videos on like attractions and things like that, just because while Lego is part of the channel, it's also a bit wider than that in terms of like a lifestyle things you can see and do and stuff like that. And like if I stop today, I think I've got footage for about 40 different videos, and that's mostly not Lego. So it's like I'm not even gonna think about trying to do Lego reviews for like until I clear the backlog of videos and things like that. So. And you just end up with a few sets and things. But it was just crazy because this week, I think, was it Monday, our government sort of said, look, second wave, blah, blah, blah. We were imposing all these restrictions, da, 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 da. And it was literally that night because, the Prime Minister sort of did the address the nation thing, which would be, very similar if 45 got on and did one of his sort of things, and it was literally within a couple of hours of that you started seeing all these deals coming through from Amazon and Argos, which is kind of a little bit not so much like a Walmart, but it's kind of like more like what Sears used to be. And they just kept on coming, and like all of the next day, like usually we don't get deals or things like that unless it's like either school holidays or the week before school holidays. So the fact that they were doing it across the board like 3 weeks after school's gone back was really bizarre. So it's sort of like, do they know something that we don't? Is it like, are they trying to get everyone to spend stuff before they don't have money? Like, what's
baiting us?
Yeah. So, yeah.
So was it like deals on like clothing, food, Lego, everything? Or
it was mainly Lego. I think there was like other stuff as well, but it's sort of like because we don't generally get the crazy like clearances like you guys with Walmart. Like if something is 25-35% off, then that's really good sort of thing. And usually it'd be like only a couple of sets would have that sort of thing as a bit of a leader to get you like into stores and spending more money. But it was like hundreds of sets were discounted.
That's like, great. Yeah.
So I'm just sort of looking at that. It's like with some of them, it's like that's pretty good, but I want more of a discount. I'll wait. So
yeah, I mean, I wish I would have done that with a couple sets. I mean, I bought like 4 city like digger stuff, and I'm like, I don't even like this set.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can get sucked into that sometimes. It's like, oh, it's 50% off, but I'd never buy this if I was sane. Like,
I clearly decided to go against my no buying Frozen sets. I bought 2 Olafs, and I'm like, wait a second, I would never ever be caught in a store with this set. Why am I buying Olaf? And like, well, Olaf could go up in value, and I actually kind of want one. Like, I had to justify it for myself. I don't want Olaf.
Was that at the same time you were having a chat with that, or trying to chat up that other service lady that was in the store helping you out?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, he was like selling me everything. He's like, take everything on the shelf, and I'm like, possibly, maybe. I mean,
yeah. He's an Olaf. Okay, well, not usually my thing, but okay for you. Yeah, I'll take
I can tell you, I felt very manly walking out the store with an Olaf. I'm like, man card just got killed.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing. We've sort of got kids and things like that. So the youngest for a while in particular was really into Frozen. So the number of times I've heard that, what is it, Let It Go song or whatever.
Let It Go.
And we had it on like
2 kids, right?
Yeah, I got the 2 kids and I had it on CD, and they just play it and play it and play it. And then, went off it. And that was funny because then about 6 months ago, I pulled it out and started playing it. And even they were like, no, don't play it. We don't want to play it. It's like, just winding them up. It's like, well, this is what you used to do to us. Oh, let's listen to it again. And then they're, going over the CD player and unplugging it out of the wall and taking the CD out and running away with it. Like,
that's funny as heck.
Yeah.
Like,
Revenge. Oh, by the way, I can do it on Amazon Alexa. And unfortunately with that, then they're just always like, Alexa, stop. Alexa, delete.
Kids have gotten so smart this day and age because they're like growing with technology, right? Like, it's like, oh, they know everything.
Yeah. Oh, the Alexa was great because they were, we got one, I think about 3 years ago. And at that stage, they couldn't really read or write. Like it's like they're just learning letters and alphabet and things like that. So for them to interact with Google or something was completely out of the question. But once you got the Alexa and they could start talking to it and asking questions, like it was brilliant for them because the whole world opened up. Because then they're sort of like, they can ask it what the time is and what the temperature is and all that sort of stuff. So in that regard, for little kids, the Alexa is actually it helps them sort of really engage with the rest of the world. So it's great for that. But yeah, much like what you're saying, so then by the time they're going to school and things, it's second nature to them.
Yeah, no, agree. I mean, technology can be a powerful tool. I mean, like if you know how to use it correctly and you're not abusing it, it could be a great thing. Like.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think what the other one was doing the other day. Can't. Yeah, it escapes me at the moment. But I think sometimes, like, because I mean, you obviously can appreciate how long it takes to edit a video and put it together and things like that. So the other one's been watching, Minecraft, YouTube, and all the rest of it. And they're like, oh, you could just do this. It wouldn't take you long to put it together. And it's like, how about you do it?
Editing is fun and not fun. It really depends. Like when you're passionate about a video, like I want to spend 16 hours editing a video, like I've done. I think that's the longest ever taken me to like edit a video. I hated my life, but I like the end product. Like seeing the end product really, keeps you going.
Yeah, no, it does with that. And it's not like you do it for the views as such, but you spend. And that's what I found. Like, the first couple of videos, I'd spend like so much time doing it, and you get like 3 views or something, and then you do like a throwaway video, which is really crappy, and the sound's terrible, and the video's not there, and all of a sudden it's getting thousands of views, and it's just like
so annoying. It totally is. I hate when that happens, and it always happens. My biggest video I ever made. I made it on my lunch break in my car. It's not my biggest video. And I'm like, this video took me 15, 20 minutes to put together. Compared to, let's say, like a Q&A video that might take me, or like a top 10 might take 10 to 16 hours to do. And then I'm like, those do all right. Like they get the views that I want them to get. Well, they don't. I want more. But it's like they do fine, right, with views. And then the video I do in my car, like, oh, what is going on, y'all? Brother from another brick here. This video's crappy. Sorry, I'm on my work break. Blows up and becomes my biggest video, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh my god.
Why? Yeah, no, that's why I like looking at some of your stuff and that because respecting that because it's sort of like, wait a minute, he took 15 minutes to make this video and it's up there and out there as opposed to when I go through and spend a lot of time and because I'll do a little bit of keyword research and a bit of the description, this, that, and the other. So like the editing can take some time, and then going through and doing everything else to do it, and then promote it and all that sort of stuff. So I mean, I'm just trying to think with some of your stuff. What's your general way of promoting it, or do you just have a core audience base now that you can put it up and people are just going to watch it?
I mean, for me, there's many ways I try to promote my videos. One would be like Instagram. Instagram is really, even though like people like follow you from YouTube and Instagram, like let's say you have like a person that's subbed to like 1,000 people, your video might not stick out to them, right? But if you're on Instagram and all of a sudden you're scrolling through your feed, because a lot of people tend to spend hours on Instagram compared to like YouTube in that sense, right? Like if you're on YouTube, you're watching the creators you really like, right? So you'll know when their videos come out. But if you're trying to reach a different audience, let's say you're going on Instagram, that really helps out. But I realize, you're promoting to a different audience that might not see your video. And then also like Twitter, even though Twitter doesn't help, every once in a while I'll throw up a video on Twitter. If you're trying to get videos in the search results, like a lot of my, like YouTuber friends that are big that do this full time, it's always about the description. The tags truly don't matter. I still put them in anyway, but it's about the description that really promotes your video. I was talking to Greg and he was talking to his YouTube source or whatever, source like his guy, I forgot what they called him. And he's like, just focus on the description if you're trying to promote your video. Don't focus on the tags. The tags help a little bit, but they truly don't help.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because the description, if I can, what I try to do is obviously, do a bit for that, but then I'll go through depending upon the video, and then also do a full transcription of it, and then because the description allows you to have 5,000 or 5,000 characters. So, I'll do the normal sort of 3 or 4 paragraph description saying what the video is about, this, that, and the other. And if I've done the captions for it, I'll then dump in the rest of the captions into that, just because you're then getting some like keyword density and things like that. How much that works, I don't know. But I have found, though, that the videos where I put in the captions do seem to perform slightly better.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's also a case where that is true. Jeff Do Good, I know I was talking to him and he said that. I didn't know that did anything, but like I know, like he was saying, like for a lot, like his videos, like his top 10 videos, he would go and close caption everything, and those are his like biggest videos on his YouTube channel. So, give me 1 sec, I'll be back. I gotta grab a glass.
Yeah, sure. Water. Yeah, no worries. So, and then we got Solo Bricks Builder. Stop saying Alexa, I've got one in my van. You keep saying setting it off. Okay then. What should we say? Alexa, buy washing detergent. Or maybe I have to do a bit of a pause there. Maybe I shouldn't do that, because then if anybody else has got Alexa in there, ours are hiding in the other room, so hopefully that's not doing anything. Or what's a common one? What's the other? Yeah. What is it? Alexa, play a song by Queen. So once you stop dealing with that, let me know how to get on with that. Yeah, so let's try to because when it's always interesting sort of seeing with the videos and things like that what does and doesn't kind of work. I mean, it's always just hard, because I think also too it comes down to what's happening in the world at the time. I know there's been 1 or 2 videos I've released and they haven't done anything, and then 6 months later they've taken off for some bizarre reason. So what do we got here? Just looking at now doing part of the London Eye here. So we got the turny bit, the technical term for it. It is now playing We Will Rock You. Awesome. I do love this song. That's cool. I'm glad that worked. That's what I was just trying to think, because we initially when we got Alexa, it it had, you could play like 2 million songs or something like that, and then you'd try to name some of these other songs. And it's like, oh well, if you upgrade, you can. Plus, added washing up detergent to my Amazon basket. I'm just trying to think of what else. Anyhow, it's good to. Probably shouldn't do that, because you might jump off the stream. Either that, or you're gonna get to the end of it and have a very expensive stream. It was
something expensive. That's what I caught.
Oh yeah, it's because Solo kept on saying to stop saying stuff about Alexa, because it kept on sending it off in his fans. So I deliberately was doing stuff. So I said, play a song by Queen. So Solo's like, oh, it's now playing We Will Rock You. And I also
Queen is good. So
yeah, no, it's good. And then I also said, like, add washing detergent to the shopping list. So now he's got washing detergent in his shopping list. So if you can think of anything fun to mess with his Alexa with, by all means, go for it.
Oh, I love it. That's funny. It's like that.
Yeah, it's interesting, because when we first got the Alexa, it was sort of saying, you've got access to like 2 million songs, but then you start naming all these other songs which it doesn't have access to. But it goes, oh, if you upgrade to like Amazon Music or whatever, then you can get access to it. Would you like to do this? And for a long time, we were just like, no. And we're trying to get it to stop, because it kept on saying it. And then one of the kids just, out of the side of their mouth said yes or whatever, really quietly and faintly. And of course it heard that, and it goes, oh, you have now unlocked it. It's like, oh, I need to log on to the app and turn off. Yeah, it's sort of like biased. It's sort of like, oh, you want to buy something, and when you're saying no, it's like, no, we don't hear that. Oh, look, there was a yes there. So,
Amazon, whoever's running Amazon, like in general, well, Jeff Bezos is, but like whoever's designing like Alexa and whatever, they're genius.
oh yeah. G'day Tech Productions. Great to see you along here. We're just messing around with because we're talking about Alexa, and apparently Solo's listening, and every time we say that, it sets stuff off in his van. So we're just trying to think of other ways we can mess further with that. Like, being real mindful, mature adults.
I feel like if I say something, the reason I haven't said anything, if I say like something and for some reason it goes through, I would feel
Yeah, that'd be funny if you could say, Alexa, send washing detergent to BFAB.
it's I'd be like, yes, I needed this. I don't have to buy more.
Woo.
Washing detergent. For some reason, I love the smell of washing detergent. I think I need to go on My Strange Addiction.
I'm guessing that's a TV show or something, which is, because I've never heard of that one.
You have some like weird people that like are into like eating furniture or eating glue or eating their like some lady was obsessed with eating her husband's ashes.
Oh, I think I remember hearing a story about something like that. Was she mixing it into cereal or something weird?
She was doing something, and I'm just like, oh, yikes.
Anyhow, we've had a suggestion here. Alexa, play Who Let the Dogs Out. Solo, you can tell us whether or not that goes through. Sorry. We could have a stream of immaturity here.
He's really going to hate you. He's like, I'm just trying to watch a stream.
Yeah. So let's come back. She said, I don't know that one. Was that to BFAB or to the Dogs song? Because that came back pretty quick. But yeah, anyhow. So, I'm not sure how much we should mess with that, because then Solo might just, jump off the stream. And I need all 2 of my viewers.
I think you have like 7 or 8 people watching, I think, right now.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, this is just I try to do it at this time to catch more or less some of the Australians because it's their night.
Yeah.
But then it makes it awkward for the British times. But funnily enough, it's you Americans who usually seem to be on. It's sort of like 5, 6, 7 in the morning and getting up, and so that's cool.
We have no lives, unfortunately.
Or it's just before you get up to work. Solo's come back with some choice description with that lot.
You bastards.
I'm just trying to think what's another sort of one that you could do it. What's that? Alexa, play This Song's Gonna Get Stuck Inside Your Head from the Lego 2 movie. Let's see if that one goes through.
I could be a little mean and say something, but I can't do this to you, so don't worry.
Okay. Maybe put it in the chat there. And if,
I was going to say, Alexa, call wife.
Yeah, I've never. So you've got a. Do you have an Alexa?
I don't. I've not got cool with the times. Like I'm content with my phone and my laptop, and that's all.
Yeah, there's lots of other ways. I mean, we initially got it. Why did we get it? I can't remember. I think it was more just for the music, because we generally we're not huge into music as such. But with the little kids, we want to expose it to them, sort of thing. But then all of a sudden, you start using it for all sorts of other different things, and so it worked out well that way. But I think, in terms of like what you're saying, if you've got all your other devices, you can probably get all the bits and pieces that you need.
Yeah, I mean, I like talking to my phone anyway. I'm just like, hey, what time is it right now? I mean, like, not something like that. Okay, let me find a better example. Like, you just ask like random questions, like how much would this cost, or this or that, and it's very helpful. Usually like send you to an article or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean the kids love to also mess with it when they're doing their homework. Like you're trying to say, what's 9 times 5? and like trying to quiz them, and then they'll just turn around to Alexa, what's 9 times 5? And it's like, that's not how this works.
Oh, I'm dead. That's funny as hell.
So, yeah, cool. But you're saying before that you're with your YouTube channel, you just not finding the motivation this week, or just...
I, in general, have not enjoyed making YouTube videos for a while.
Okay.
I think for me, it's not like, I'm worried about like growing, or I care about views, right? I don't really care. Like, I like getting subs, but I care more about views. And I
Yeah.
realized that for me, I just don't want to be that guy that throws up every single news video anymore. Like, I'm content with my longer videos. They just take a long time, so that's why there's not a lot of them. Like my Q&A series, my last one, I think. No, my top 10. I don't even know. I'm confusing things. My last Q&A series episode that came out like a month ago or longer took 16 hours to edit. The last the last top 10 I did took like 12, 13 hours to edit. And so for me, I'm just like, yeah, I'm enjoying the results. People like the quality of the editing. People are content with that, but it's draining me. And I
Yeah.
also have to work. Like 2 weeks ago, I was literally working like 15-hour days, So for me, it's like, do I really want to put this into a video? And like a lot of these like list videos I've done recently, like they've done fine. Like I'm not like worried about those views. They're doing all right. But literally I'm in my car with my phone and my laptop recording videos, editing, doing everything on work breaks. I'm just like, dang, this is not as fun as I thought.
Yeah, no, I can, because a couple of times you've said that you've done it on work breaks and things like that. It's like, wow, that's that's cool that you're getting the turnaround like that. And what's Tech Productions has come up? A BFAB/Sans podcast is what the world needs.
It was going to happen. I think Sans has backed out of that, but it was going to happen. Originally, it was going to be a Lego podcast, and I was going to have a bunch of people, like 4 or 5 people on there. And then Sans like, no, that's a bad idea. Let's just do a podcast where it's you and I. And I'm like, oh, okay, Sans, that sounds great. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, hey, Sans, when do you want to record the podcast? And he's like, oh, about that. I'm like, okay, Sans.
Okay. Because I think randomly I walked into your Instagram live between you two guys during the week.
Yeah, I was just bored. I had just like woken up like, I don't know, 30 minutes before. I'm like, I'm really bored. What should I do? Should I go live on my YouTube channel? I'm like, nah, I don't really want to do that. I'm like, oh, let's go live on Instagram. So
Yeah. Because that was it's just random, like things like that. Like you're just sort of going along, and all of a sudden you come across, oh, these people are live. Oh, this person's doing that. And, yeah. So I mean, did you, with the podcast with Sans, was it just going to be you two guys sort of riffing off each other, or?
kind of, yeah. I mean, I feel like Sans and I do like kind of bounce off each other really well, especially with our humor. Can be really like messed up and a little too far. Like kind of like the humor that I kind of try to portray is kind of like shock factor. Like for me, like I'm on your stream right now, so I never like go too far, right? There's a time and place for everything. People who don't know that, I feel like they're immature, right? But like if I can realize you're cool with a certain style of humor, I'll go with it. If not, I'll just be casual, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and that's why, like on Hive stream, I will go over the top compared to, let's say, your stream where we can talk nerdy stuff whenever. We could talk about life. You know what I'm saying? And like I can adjust to everything.
Yeah, you adjust to the audience and things. Because I think it was like last week we're doing something like this, and then then you jumped onto Steve Reynolds, and he's got a certain flavor of what he does.
Yeah, you could just like it's easy to kind of adjust because like for me, there's certain people I'm funny around and over the top with. There's other people where I'm just like casual, right? And so there's a time and a place for everything. If a certain person has a certain audience or they don't want certain things on their stream, I can adjust to that. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that for the times that you come on, and it's always great to catch up and see what's happening over in BFAB world. Sorry, I almost said Sans. Like what?
You're good. Yeah, I mean, I enjoy these streams too. I like the earlier streams in general, and I already said this. You're a very smart individual, so I respect that. So,
look, flattery will get you everywhere. But, the other interesting thing, which I'll get your take on it, because I think I mentioned it on Solo stream, which is now unprotected Alexa, so that could be even worse. um, your sort of take or thoughts on, there's this big thing at the moment where J.K. Rowling's about to release a book, and apparently there's a character in there who's trans or something like that. So now you've got the trans community basically going, Lego should discontinue their relationship with Harry Potter or J.K. Rowling. I mean, do you have any sort of thoughts or take on that?
So I come from a very controversial perspective. So kind of a little bit background on me. I grew up not liking gays or trans people because I was raised that way, right?
Right.
Over time, after meeting gay and trans people, I realized they're exactly like me. Not like me, like I'm gay or trans. I'm straight and straight and a man. But like for me, I realized there's nothing wrong with them. It took me meeting them to become a different person, right? I think J.K. Rowling has the right to her opinion. I don't think it was a smart move for her to write that book, but I do know what you're talking about, because she's kind of been transphobic since she
Yeah.
kind of, I think J.K. Rowling's also like a Christian, so I believe that was her backup or something that I heard. So she's been transphobic. She writes a book about somebody, I believe, killing transgenders, like a serial killer, or like somebody that was a serial killer that's like trans that was killing people. I think that's what the book's about, from what I've heard. And so I don't think it was a smart move for her to write that type of book, especially with the controversy that she's garnered
Yeah.
recently. I don't think Lego should discontinue their working with her, making Harry Potter Lego sets. Those sell way too well for Lego
Oh
to
yeah,
do.
it's in there. When you looked at the last quarter results, it was one of their top five license, or so one of their top five themes. And no, tongues everywhere. You had Technics number one. You've got Star Wars, Harry Potter, and I think there was another theme in there. But yeah, it's that there. But it's interesting because I saw I think was it Piers Morgan, which he's controversial in himself, but he
Oh yeah.
basically had a bit of a panel about it, and his sort of thing was like, right, okay, nobody's actually read the book yet, but here's a review, pretty comprehensive by somebody who has read the review, and has read the book, and it was more just the fact that the killer happened to be trans, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because they're wearing a wig or something or other. So it was interesting because then the point that he was making was, well, had the killer been a white male or whatever, that would be fine. Or had the killer been something else? And it's sort of like, why is there this sort of aspect? But yeah, I think much like what you're saying, the fact then that, she's potentially had some of the tweets on Twitter, which have, stirred up some controversy there as well. And it was interesting because then it was a discussion around the whole sort of cancel culture, which part of the reason that these guys have gone after Lego is sort of like, well, you guys canceled the Offspray because of, publicly, because you said that, it was war or whatever, give or take, whether or not it became an issue around a quality control, of which they're never going to say product recall because that's too damaging to the brand. So it just feeds into that bigger thing of, is every time that Lego puts a step wrong, they're going to have a whole bunch of people saying, here, cancel, cancel, cancel. It's like,
I think cancel culture has become over the top. I think that I understand some people not wanting things to be made, but like Lego very likely worked on the Osprey like 2 years before the set came out. We don't know. It could be longer, could be shorter.
Yeah.
For them to even cancel that set, I think was a bad idea. I said this in one of my videos, and I think I said it pretty well. Lego sets are not killing people. It is representing a military vehicle, but they turn it into a rescue vehicle. There's no dead bodies or dead babies in the set. Like, it's not like there's people blown up in the set. Like, it's literally a Technic set. Like, they've made Ospreys before, or vehicles that look like Ospreys. Like the city, like heavy lift helicopters or whatever with the dual rotors or whatever. Those basically are Ospreys in my book. And I think that Lego justifying it in those cases seemed to be fine, but not in this case. And I think that the issue is the dude's like, yeah, we're going to protest in front of like 3 Lego stores and, whatever. And at the end of the day, it's like, dude, you literally, here's what happened. The people who could get it, they got lucky. The people who didn't get it, they're screwed over because right now they're going for thousands of dollars. Hey, lucky to the people who got like the shipments, like the stores or whatever, because they can just flip them if they want to, right? Like thousands of dollars. Sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry, no, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, you can flip them for thousands of dollars, and at the end of the day, they're winning. I mean, who loses in this case? The people who want it and can't get it. Like I never wanted it till it got canceled. So,
yeah,
you know.
and that's the funny thing about it. Like the number of people who, you know, I consider myself. I get quite a number of the big Technic sets. I like my Technic and things like that. And even I was looking at it, and it's sort of like, well, it's not really a construction vehicle. It's not this. It's not that. Generally, not interested in it.
Yeah.
But like you said, then it's going to be cancelled, and people are flipping it. It's like, oh, I might be more interested in it now. And I think there's a lot of that because there's a lot of people who ended up getting them and things like that. And it's sort of like, wait a minute, do you even own a Technic set? Like,
No, you're totally right. I mean, I'm just looking at the people like right now who's selling it, and I'm just like, y'all, like it's crazy because if you were a store and you got a shipment of let's say 10 or 20 of those, you could do a crap ton. You could put a decent amount of money on a car. You could,
yeah,
like 1,000 each or 1,200. I know at one point they were going for like $2,000. They've seemed to drop a little bit. But it's like, let's say a person had like 20 of them going for $2,000. It's like you just made a crap ton of money. You just made, you just made a decent amount of money. I'm like, dang.
yeah. And I think Solo's got the thing there that there's nothing wrong with a book, people judging it before they've even read it, and that's the interesting thing. Like anytime you try to ban something, it becomes a bestseller. Like it's one of those things where now that book will become the bestseller. And I think the funniest, or not the funniest one, but I remember during the '80s there was a song that Billy Joel put out, and it was talking about it was like Catholic girls or something or other, and the song had basically died. It was dead in the charts. Like it was in the Billboard top 200, and I think it was, from what he was recalling, it had slipped down to like 197. Like the next week, it would have been gone, sort of thing. And then the Catholic Church picked up on it, and that song rocketed up to like number one, and then stayed there for like ever. And it's just like, he was like, then turned around, and because everyone was protesting him or whatever, he then, I think tongue in cheek, he wrote a letter to the Pope thanking him for picking up on this, because without it, the song would have died a natural death and was pretty much there. And the same thing is going to happen with this now. Like, because didn't J.K. Rowling like do what was it, Casual Vacancy or something like that as something outside the Harry Potter world, and it generally didn't do too well?
I think J.K. Rowling was kind of like, her stuff is kind of dying. I mean, Fantastic Beasts, even though it did all right, it's not doing as well as like Harry. She'll never be Harry Potter level again. So I think anything she puts out kind of is like a flop in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll never reach that level.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if George Lucas came out today and tried to do another space epic saga or something like that, like which was completely divorced of Star Wars, like they've caught lightning in the bottle. They've done very well on it. And I think even Jerry Seinfeld was sort of like, he recognized with his show how successful it was. And so like, I'm never going to catch lightning in a bottle twice. Why would I even think of doing another sitcom sort of thing? And yeah, so like what you're saying, if you're measuring up to this tremendous success that you've already had, you're never going to be able to get back to it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and as somebody who watched Harry Potter like one time, I barely remember anything. But like, you were saying earlier, should they like, kind of distance? Should Lego distance himself from her or whatever? I think that's such a bad idea. Like you were saying, the sets did so well.
Yeah, yes. I think if they're going to do it, then it needs to be done on something which actually makes sense, and it isn't just this knee-jerk reaction to counterculture. And much like what Solo's comment there is, most people haven't even read it, and I'm sure once it comes out, there'll be a lot of people who won't read it but will still be on the bandwagon for it. So
cancel culture just needs to stop. In reality, it's like, I look at like stuff like, I don't know if you know who what's the actor's name? He played Ralph Dibny in The Flash. Do you keep up with those type of stuff?
Are you talking about the current TV series or?
Correct. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, aware of it, but I'm not aware of probably what you're going to be talking about. So yeah, if you can just give a bit of background with it.
So the actor who plays Ralph Dibny, let me look up his name again. It slipped my mind right now.
Yeah.
But he ended up saying like years ago, 2-3 years ago. Um, okay, his name's Hartley Sawyer. So he ended up saying like a bunch of racist, sexist, a bunch of like really messed up comments like 3 years ago, right? And during that time, like the 3 years after the 3 years or something or whatever it was, he got the role as Ralph Dibny or whatever his name, Elastic Man in Flash or whatever. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like he made a post like Black Lives Matter. As a white guy, I'm privileged, and Black Lives Matter, right? And all of a sudden, people were digging up old tweets that he had made 3 years ago or something. And
Yeah.
then literally they fired him from the show. And I'm just like, guys, he messed up 3 years ago. People do change, and become better individuals,
Yeah.
and I'm just like,
It's,
why fire him,
I think, yeah, ultimately the studios are going to, well, if that's who it was, they're going to look at it and go, well, can this bit of history come back and really tarnish our brand now? So you can kind of understand it from that angle, but yeah, and I think that's the real danger with a lot of the social media stuff these days is, certainly when we were much younger and you didn't have the internet and things like that, like you could say stuff and it wasn't recorded forever. Whereas now it kind of is. So it's sort of like, if you had a bad day 3 years ago, can you remember some of the stupid stuff you might have posted online or something like that? So
Yeah, no, when I get pissed off, I'm not going to online, especially on my personal stuff, like Lego stuff. I get pissed off. I want to throw a fit on a Lego stream. Nobody's gonna find that, hopefully. I get
yeah.
pissed off now, and I go and decide to post something controversial. Shoot.
Hello.
Sorry, my phone alarm went off.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't too sure if it's that or it's like crackling or something like that. So, yeah, you were saying if you were going to post something controversial.
Okay, so if I decide to post something controversial or say something controversial, I would not do it on my personal social media because that is a way to get canceled. Like literally, like your job can go and like let's say you work with another person, they decide to see one of your posts and be like, well, this person, I disagree with what they say, let me bring this up. This person's this certain way, and then you get fired, right? I mean, like those stuff can backfire against you, and that's why for me it's like I just don't really post much on like social media, at least my personal ones. It'll be like photo here every like 6 months, and maybe like a happy birthday or Merry Christmas to a few people, but that's basically all.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of the social stuff, for better or for worse, use it more as an advertising platform. Whether it's about art or Lego or whatever it is. And I was really reluctant to before the YouTube actually have the kids on any social media, and I was pretty much the opposite way. It's sort of like particularly if we went around to family and things like that, and they're taking pictures of the kids, and so like, look, I'm happy for you to do that, but do not post it on Facebook and this, that, and the other. It wasn't until they started, watching all the videos of their peers sort of on YouTube and stuff like that. It's like, well, why can't we do this? And it's like, okay, well, we can, but and that's the one reason I go through and edit to them is they're on there, but I never have their names out there. And that's why sometimes with some of the videos, like there'll be momentary drops in sound because that's where I've gone back and they've happened to say each other's name or something. And it's like, we'll take that out. So,
Damn.
yeah, so it's, everybody's going to have their own little things because for mine, it's like until they can get to an age where, they can make informed decisions about stuff, then unfortunately, I'm going to make that decision on your behalf as a parent.
No, I respect that. I mean, you don't want their names out there. I mean, I had my fair share of people who have found my social media, messaged my family members, and threatened me in the Lego community. And so for me, even though like my name is out there every once in a while, like my name will get like I'll say it by accident. Like I love to refer myself in the third person for some reason. I don't know why. And so by doing that, I end up revealing my name. And last time I decided to show off one of my social media pages on a live stream. I didn't expect people to actually reach out to my family members and threaten me through them. And then one day I get a text from my brother, and he's like, "This person's saying that he's gonna beat the crap out of you." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then he mentioned the guy's name, and I'm like, "Great, my obsessed fan that I basically rejected has now found my family members and now are messaging my brother." And I don't know who else he messaged. Like my brother said that, but how if he had messaged other people? So like all my social media now went from, you could view like my friends, you can view my posts, like you can view my posts, I think, but you cannot view my friends unless you're my friend on Facebook, because I don't want that to happen again. So like my Instagram, my personal one used to be public, that's now private. And then same with my Facebook, because I cannot risk people, who don't like me going after me or going after my friends, and that's not something I can roll with. So
Yeah, no, that's never really thought about it, and sorry, never known somebody's like had that issue come up, and it's sort of like, yeah, because you sort of generally associate that with, I guess, politicians or rather, A-list celebrities in the public eye, sort of thing. But that's interesting that you're getting the blowback and from some of the stuff that you're doing.
I've talked to a lot of people who are like, "Yeah, this has never happened to us." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
But it's I think it's also like it's kind of like that cancer thing. Like it happens to everybody else until it happens to you or somebody close to you, and then it's like, oh, actually, yeah, maybe we should be paying more attention to this. So no, I think it's really interesting that you're mentioning that.
The world is a scary place, and for me, I'm not willing to like anything. Like once you get family involved, you cross the line. Like I was so mad. I could have,
Yeah.
I could have done anything to that guy and not had any remorse. But I'm just like you could insult me, you can go after me, just don't go after my family. So
Yeah, that's the sort of thing. You kind of put yourself out there for it, so you put yourself as fair game. But like what you say, the family side of it, no, that's a bit of off limits here with that sort of aspect.
yeah, I mean the world's a scary place. So I do respect you not like having your kid's name out there, because you know I believe your last name is Elder, right? I mean, it's in your.
Yeah, it's there, and because the part of it too is it's not that I know this properly. It's a branding thing. Like part
Yeah.
of what I do is in terms of art and stuff like that. So having that direct association with the name. Because I was thinking about it the other day. It's funny we've come onto this topic, but the number of people in the Lego community who generally like their handles and things are not their actual names. Like there's quite a number of Solo Brick Builder and like Tech Productions and BFAB and everything like that. There's actually very few people who actually use their names as their handles. The only other one that just springs to the top of my head is probably going to be somebody like Kevin Hinkle, but then again it's going to be an art thing. What is it, Bricks O'Brien maybe, but it's not the full name.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that the other day. It's like, one of the few people who actually use their full name. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Like,
I think it's a mix of both. I mean, the thing is, like, if I wanted to figure out who, like, information about you, I could do a simple Google search or whatever, go on Facebook or whatever and find, like, your stuff, right? I mean, unless you have all your stuff private, you kind of expose that to the world. You know what I'm saying? Kind of.
yeah, it's no, it's that's one thing. Like being into sort of technology a little bit, I'm very conscious of that in terms of if you put your name into Google, what comes back, and then to going one degree of separation beyond that. It's sort of like, well, if I go onto this website and I kind of know this about the person, what else can I find out about it? So
It's very simple to do. It's
yeah,
like,
it's
yeah. Like, as much as I don't want to admit that, if there's like an attractive female and like their name and you're like, oh, let me find their Facebook, and then you feel like a creep. I used to do that a lot when I was younger. I don't really do that now, but like, you're like, it's not that hard to find somebody if you want to find somebody.
no, it's not. And most people will use the same profile pics across a whole bunch of different social media and things like that. And in one of our other businesses, we've had an issue with a customer and things like that, and because they had their picture there, it's sort of like, okay, we'll just do a reverse image lookup on Google, And once that came up, it turned out, oh yeah, they did a lot of this stuff to other businesses as well. And so that, okay. So it's like what you say, it's the stuff's out there and it's generally not that hard to access. So trying, I guess, in the first place to not put that stuff out there makes it just that little bit more difficult.
I think though for me it's like now that like my friend list is private, unless you're my friend, all that stuff, like I'm kind of taking steps to make sure that other people can't get access to my social media. And I'm very iffy on who I accept as like my friend on Facebook. Like there's a decent amount of people in the Lego community that have friended me on my personal Facebook, and I have not accepted them. And it's just because I'm like, I don't know you that well. Like
Yeah.
the more I hang out with you, the more I chat with you, I will very likely like be cool with adding people, but it's like you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, yeah, you got to go through and have a bit of a screen on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then. Yeah, it's it's interesting how we ended up on this sort of topic. So, um, how do we get off that? Oh yeah, the J.K. Rowling stuff. Okay, well that's a bit of a swerve. So.
Oh yeah, no it is. But I mean it's a good conversation.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's been certainly fascinating to go to that. And then you had Tech Productions has come up and said the only bad press is no press at all. Yeah, I think in terms of what we were talking about with that book now is going to become a bestseller.
I hope
So,
it sells well for her. I hope that over time I hope people become more open minded because, as somebody who was on that kind of like who kind of believed everything she did, but probably worse in a more like, radical way. Like for me to actually go and become a different person, I am really happy, about
yeah,
that.
yeah, and that's the sort of thing. Like in terms of being able to, uh, take on a different view, or be able to change your worldview, or things like that. And I think sometimes that's where some of the politics, particularly politics, is messed up because it's sort of like, well, you can't change your mind, and it's sort of like, well, then that implies that when you made the decision, you knew everything and were a genius. Like, come on, where's the reality here?
Yeah, I mean, 15-year-old me was such a hateful person. I just hated people and, hated people for things that they didn't have the ability to control. And now as a 21-year-old, I'm just like, I'm glad I'm not that same person because I still live with like parents who, you know, don't like gay people or don't like trans people or anything. And I'm like, I don't hate them for it. I don't like how they look at things.
Yeah, it's not your worldview.
Yeah. And it's like they're like, yeah, you're going down a wrong path. You're being a horrible person. And I'm just like, no, I'm not. Like, if you're not like a lot of people use religion as a kind of a way to shield everything. And I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna be that guy. Like I want to be a person who if you treat me well, I'll treat you well. If you are gay and you treat me like crap, I'm gonna treat you like crap. If you're straight and you treat me like crap, I'm gonna treat you like crap. If you're gay and you're nice to me, I'll treat you nice. If you're straight and you're nice to me, I'll treat you nice. Like that's how
Yeah,
I live my life now. So
yeah, it's not based upon some sort of orientation or anything like that. It's how people actually interact with you, and yeah, it's like what you're saying. If somebody's just a decent person because they're a decent person, then that's fine. But if you're a dick because you're a dick, well, there's enough of you in the world, and you can go find somebody else.
yeah, no, agreed. I mean, I just think the world needs to change. At the end of the day, I do understand people having different opinions than mine, and I'm never going to fault them for it. I'm not going to hate on them for having an opinion, but I want them to kind of see things from a different light because I think like being arrogant and being, that way, literally, just like it hurts you at the end of the day. Like, try to become a better person. Try to figure things out. Ask yourself why. Like when I did not like, gay or trans people, like when I first told a gay individual that I didn't like him, like I'm like, you're garbage, you don't deserve to, whatever, right? And he literally looked at me and he said, what did I do wrong to you? And I sat back and I'm like, nothing. Like, and after that day, I realized I was in the wrong.
Yeah,
He wasn't in the wrong. I was in the wrong. And I'm like, why am I using religion as a way to excuse myself for hating people? And I'm like, I don't want to be this guy. I don't want to be that person. And over time, you start accepting more and more people, and then you realize, like, if sorry, I can't speak. If I disagree with something, right? That I disagree with it, right? I don't disagree with gays or trans people, but I'm just saying, like, if I disagree with something, that's on me. I should not hate somebody because I disagree with them, you know? And I think the world is changing, and if you don't adjust with the change, you're going to be stuck in like the 50s where you can't accept like back in the 50s where like being gay, being whatever, that's kind of looked upon in a negative light. Now it's accepted everywhere, and if you want to be stuck in that time line or whatever, be that way, be that person, but you're not going to have a lot of people like you. If you could just treat people the way you want to be treated, the world will be a better place. So
yeah, exactly. It's independent of just what is it, factors you happen to be born with or whatever. It's more in terms of the social interaction with people and how they treat others. So, and yeah, it's good that I think very much you need to be able to respect other people's differing opinions without, because otherwise, if we're all sitting around all agreeing on the same exact same sort of stuff and things like that, it would probably be pretty boring. So
agreed.
like, I'm glad that you like the this line of whatever it is. And so, like, for me, that's, I don't personally like that, but each to their own sort of thing, like in terms of whether it's a product or whatever it is. Because sometimes just don't think we can all be completely the same on everything. Because
no, we don't have to be. Like, if all of a sudden you said you didn't like a certain type of people, I wouldn't hate you for it. I'd just be like, that's his opinion. Maybe one day he'll change his mind, maybe he won't. If he doesn't, that's up to him, but it feels better when you accept everyone. It truly does.
No, exactly, and I agree with that. So cool. Oh,
sorry, I just got a text. sorry.
That's cool. So I think we probably have to wrap this up. I think we've gone, usually just do the 2 hours, and I think gone for almost 2 hours and 40.
Dang.
No, it was great having you on and just being able to have a bit of a chat about some of these other things. So that's cool. Is there any sort of things, what's coming up on your channel, anything you want to plug?
I currently have no plans for any videos on my channel.
So
2025, y'all. 2025.
2025. Will YouTube
return of BFAP.
The return of the king? No. Cool. No, excellent. It's been great having a chat with you, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me on.
It's always good, and like what I said, a lot of these things I just organize at the last minute, and this has been a crazy week. So no, it's great just to have you on for a bit and chat about that. As for me, I guess tomorrow night I'm doing my usual You Say I Draw. So it's a sketch stream. Actually going to be having on with that Kevin Hinkle, and he's chosen the topic of science fiction. So that'll be a great one. So if people want to come along to that and just suggest something in the science fiction realm, then you'll get two people coming up with interpretations of that. So that should be a good one. That won't be a long stream. That won't be the usual 5.5 hours. That will be a tight 3 hours. So that will be 8 p.m. London, 3 p.m. New York time. And then probably back again same sort of time next week with this. So BFAB, any final sort of thoughts or comments?
I appreciate you having me on. It's been a really fun stream, and I always enjoy our combos. So I'm gonna head out and have fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm about to finish up and sign off as well. So thanks for everyone who's been around in this chat. Lego Boy 88, you are literally coming in as we are heading out. So thanks for that. And hope everyone has a good day, a good morning, a good evening, or a good night. And we'll chat to you soon when we talk about all things Lego and lifestyle. Have a good one. Cheers. Bye.